watching telly, that, Mami, those who have not stolen are just those who have not got an opportunity to steal. It's normal. So even those people who are castigating the other one is because they have not gotten that opportunity. You see, that kind of mindset, we have to start with our children from a very early age. I've always wondered why we have never even put corruption in our syllabus, so that we teach our children from an early age the importance of morality, the importance of ethics and integrity, the importance to ensure that this country will only be built by the commonwealth of the people of Kenya and not by the individual wealth acquired by individuals, either justly or even uncorruptly. Even if I've acquired my wealth justly, the other Kenyans have no business to it unless I donate it to it. So, but a commonwealth pulled together from all of us would definitely go in a long way in improving our lives.
Okay, I want us to move on to something else, Senator.
Say, if you don't mind. We need to redefine in our terminologies or in our social life what success is. Yeah, I've had so many ignorant responses. For instance, when people say Ali Mazrui was a great guy, there's some because we have patronized what achievement is. We say, oh, the governor or the senator paid for my hospital bill. He did this little thing here. He built this borehole. So you ask yourself, then you start wondering, what did Ali Mazrui do? For heaven's sake, he contributed largely into the academia globally. So I think we need to redefine what measure of what achievement is, what success is. Because rather than patronize it, because that and to chimbia borehole, that's a philanthropist. You know, it's not necessarily a mark of leadership or good or whatever it is. So I think that's what we need to redefine. What is your measure of success? Who are you aspiring to be as Michael Gitonga? Who is your benchmark? Is it Larry King? Is it somebody else? So that's how you look at it.
Okay, let's move on to something else in the interest of time, and this is coming to Mombasa County, where we have some businesses that were shut down for governor, which he has association with, and the opposition has come out to say this is foul play. What is your take on that, and why foul play when KRA say that there has been malpractice?
I think justice also is an issue of perception. When you cloud that perception with an element of politicization, then justice not only is not seen to be done in that regard, because justice needs to be seen to be done. So I think as much as they might say that they will finally validate the allegations, but it needed to be done in such a manner as to get people to appreciate, that we are just in what we are doing. We have afforded the governor's family all avenues of fairness and natural justice, or whatever they might be, so that it demonstrates that the process is justiciable in that regard.
So is the issue in what has been done or how it has been done?
The manner of how it has been done, in terms of it looks political. But for me, I have always put a rider to that. For the last 2 days, which I was speaking to, we must. Raila Odinga spoke about protecting legitimate business, and that applies at both local and the national level. So even, unfortunately, the county government, including the governor himself, have been accused of almost all wrongdoings against the business fraternity in Mombasa. They do exactly the same thing. And I know very many instances that I can point my finger to. You just arbitrarily, because you hear somebody is not supporting you, you arbitrarily, start to harass his business, to harass, his approvals and things of that nature. So I think this is a case of chicken coming home to roost, and we need now everybody to take a step back and say, fairness must be demanded across the board, where at national level, at county level, so that you can see that this issue, for instance, in Mombasa, has attracted misreaction. The ones without misreaction are not speaking. It's not necessarily just condemnation. So because there are people who feel very aggrieved also of some of the actions of the county government. So you need to be so fair, so that if somebody today scratches you the wrong way, there can be a rebellion on account of that, because of the fact that everybody believes in your fairness. So we must protect legitimate businesses at national level. And I believe myself that the businesses that are under scrutiny are legitimate businesses. And you must protect legitimate businesses at county level. When people have invested, you cannot then start to victimize them on account of their political persuasion. So, which avenues they support or do not support. So that is so I think it's a critical debate we must have.
Okay, Onyangolo, given the fairness, or rather the timing that seems very suspicious, given that the president was in Mombasa not too long ago, and of course there was a bit of a tiff between him and the governor, could this, have anything to do with it?
Nothing to do with it. The key word, I kept quiet. The key word is legitimate, which he has used repeatedly. The government, both local, national government and county government, have a responsibility to protect legitimate business. And where the government has got reasonable grounds to believe that no legitimate business is being conducted there, it is not going to sleep on its laurels and let mess be carried. We have had a lot of complaints about illegitimate business at the coast. And if we waited for a day or two, the senator himself, and he's always been very vocal because it is his responsibility to protect his constituent, would have been the first to say, why are you allowing businesses that being conducted that go against the ethics of decency or whatever? So long as the government has a reason to believe that no legitimate business is being conducted there, whether the president is at the coast or it is in Himalayas, that business will be closed because the government does not operate in the person of the president alone.
Is the president going to the
No, Akala. let's stick to the debate.
So
let's stick to the debate. No, Akala.
Well, what I find surprising about all this is that for the past 2 months, we have been illustrating to the administration and the people of Kenya the illegitimate business going on in the name of Eurobond, what we as the opposition believe to be one of the biggest scandals in modern day African history. And yet we are yet to see any expedited action in a manner similar to what we have seen in Mombasa. I like that my brother here has admitted that the CFS business and Autoport are legitimate businesses. Actually, that is not in contention across the board. This comes barely 2 weeks after the president left Mombasa, and there was a bit of, I actually would not call it a tiff or an altercation, because that's modern day democracy, provided for in the Constitution of Kenya 2010, that the governor of Mombasa is elected in an ODM ticket. The president is a Jubilee, is the leader of Jubilee. Why would you expect a governor elected under ODM to campaign for somebody in Jubilee? It's not reasonable. And we don't expect those in Jubilee to campaign for us in ODM. All the governor did was exercise his democratic rights, but I've seen that in recent weeks, the Jubilee administration has become increasingly frustrated with free speech, both at the level of politicians, such as that of the governor, where they seek to punish him by closing his relatives' businesses. And we've seen over 10 arrests of bloggers who have been so bold as to say that the Jubilee administration may not be getting it right. You'll find yourself in a cell, you'll find your businesses closed,
Okay.
You'll find yourself oppressed.
Onyangolo, you want
Just briefly. Maybe what my colleague here does not understand is the term legitimate business. A business may be licensed legitimately, but along the way it lacks legitimacy in the way or in the manner it conducts its business. So the business may have been licensed legitimately, but along the way they deviated from the terms of the license. Then it becomes illegitimate. Get that correct. On the issue of the Eurobond, you remember very well the CORD top leadership being asked to come and present evidence and chickening away. The other day he promises that he's going to go before the parliamentary committee to assist with evidentiary support. He chickens away. How do you want us to act? Bring the evidence. Stop just crooning.
It's there for all to see.
No, but the evidence, my brother Onyango, is in your closet.
But we have told you there's no money lost.
But we don't expect you to tell us there's money lost. You know, that's the whole idea. So seriously, we don't expect you to tell us that there's money lost. You see, what you need to do is not to hide yourselves behind the technicalities. Every expert on this matter has alluded to the fact that there is something drastically wrong. Remedy that. Even you take a file to the DPP, say that it's a closed file. The DPP punches holes into that analogy. So I think everybody here has a moral obligation to show some fidelity
but within a legal system.
Mr. Hassan, you are forgetting that old adage that he who alleges must prove.
That also applies to the governor of Mombasa.
Let's come to Ambrose Weda.
I think on the issue of Honorable Joho and his business, first, they always say that he who lives in glass houses should not throw stones. So if Joe is courageous enough to have altercations with the president, yet he lives in a glass house, you bear the consequence. Even if I was the president. Now, let me just explain.
Are you indirectly saying that this is a result of what?
No. Let me come now to the meat. Coming from the sugar industry, okay, it was a cause for celebration because what happens in Mombasa hurts us in Awendo and in Mumias and in Nzoia. Recently, there was discovered some contraband sugar, those ones which come and hurt us locally. And some of the places where they were found, it appears the governor knows. The governor also, apart from just being sanitized on the court side, the question of drugs and so on. So looking at it, the governor is not like Caesar's wife that can throw stones. There are many things. And I think the KRA, let me finish. This is now not a court rally. This is now a debate. Now, the governor, if it was legitimate, there's no problem. All you do is open up those things and say, KRA people, show us what are you complaining about? What are you? He doesn't have the court leader to come and protect them because they are not clean and they know it.
But okay. Michael, for me, the critical question also is I'm saying this. On this one, I think the state got it wrong. But I'm also telling you, the governor must also not use politics to victimize people, legitimate business on the ground. 3 weeks ago, some friends who lied to me came and told me they were going to court. After making almost 100 million shillings of investment, the governor told the cabinet executive arbitrarily to stop that business because they're my friends. And I was in shock. So I think what they're doing is these people play the same strategies at all levels. So I think what I'm saying,
so
we must be fair to everybody. We must be, that's why the state needs to be fair.
To everyone.
To everyone.
All right,
and the same thing at the local level, you need to be fair to everyone.
All right, we need to close, and I need your closing comments as you wind up on that.
It's really unfortunate that a lawyer of the standing of Ambrose Weda would come on national television and cast aspersions on the character of an individual using words like drug. I mean, what investigations have you conducted? What proof do you have? Before you come on national television and cast such grave aspersions on the character of your colleagues, you know, it only behooves you to be fair to people. You cannot come here and throw such words around. It's not fair.
Which one?
And you know, you alluded to something about to do with drugs.
Repeat what I said.
It's there on record. I heard you.
All right. Okay. In all fairness, Onyango Law, maybe your closing comments.
I think to all our viewers, to all Kenyans, it is a high time we accepted that issues of corruption cut across board, and we have a responsibility to ourselves and to future generations to fight this vice with whatever we can, irrespective of our party or coalition affiliations. This is a responsibility that we owe to our grandchildren, that we owe to future generations of this country, and let us do it without any fear, without any favor, or without looking behind us. And as the Jubilee government, I can tell you, we are committed to it. We have started it from inside the house, and we are asking our brothers from CORD, stop protecting your thieves as we don't protect ours, so that this country becomes a
all right, we'll have to wind it up right there. Hassan Omar, 2 seconds. 2 seconds on closing comments.
Sometimes does he believe what I agree that we need? Does he believe in what you're saying? But I believe that we must fight corruption, and we must make it a very objective fight. We must make it an inclusive fight, and we must be honest in terms of building the moral culture of our family, of our society.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. That's Senator Hassan Omar, Mombasa County. We also have Onyango Law, TNA Mune, Secretary General, Noah Kala, who is Deputy Director for Campaigns, ODM, and lawyer Ambrose Wedder. Thank you very much, and that's the way it is. That's where we're going to wind up the way it is this morning, and thank you for joining us from home. But do stay with us. We've got News Hour coming up in another 3 to 4 minutes at exactly 8 o'clock. News Hour coming up.